Okay, it's 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And we'll start off with the actions taken in closed session.
And in the absence of Trustee Milchiker, our clerk, I will read the actions tonight. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchiker absent, the board approved a 3-month unpaid leave of absence with benefits to a classified employee at district office. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchiker absent, the board approved the recommendation to transfer a classified manager at Saddleback College to a different position. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchiker absent, the board approved non-renewal of 2 probationary faculty members, 1 at Saddleback College and 1 at Irvine Valley College. On a 6-0 vote with Trustee Milchiker absent, the board denied a classified employee's appeal of an administrative determination alleging discrimination.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, go ahead and please stand. We have the invocation was scheduled to be led by Trustee Milchiker, who is absent. So I will take on that duty, and then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Trustee Padberg. So in lieu of not being fully prepared, we'll just take a moment of silence for any particular reason you want to remember or do that for. Okay, thank you for the pledge.
Please face the flag and join with me in honoring the flag of our great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so then next we have resolutions and commendations.
None.
None. So then we have public comments, and for that I have 3 polls. I have Jim Potgen. When you speak, please approach the podium. And while he's approaching the podium, since I do have a number of others, reminding that you have 2 minutes to speak, and we ask that you state your name and for the record. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
My name is Jim Petkin. I've been at Saddleback College since 1968. My father was the first classified employee. I have watched Ronald Reagan turn over the dirt, and it was the first time in this room. It's a beautiful room. I went here. I played football here at Saddleback College, and I'm talking about 6.5, which is your 5-year construction program for the stadium, which I've been an advocate for many, many years. Thank you again for bringing that up on the list. I read all of the documentation on it, and I'm so pleased that it's been brought up to number, I believe, 15 or something like that on your master building list. I'm talking about what Saddleback College football has done for me and many, many other football players, not just on the football field, but academically. It brought us farther into our lives where we probably wouldn't be able to get there. I run a small business in town. I've been supporting Saddleback College football and other programs for the past 28 years now. I work at Ballpark Pizza Team. That's what I do. That's my business. And I just want to let you know that if this vision that was brought in by the first administrators would be a continuation of what the board will pass in the near future. I've seen 5 different scenarios put out there. That field is a perfect location to help Southern California produce additional income for this college in not only football, CIF, state competitions, but also in track and field, which is only for the betterment of this College.
All right, thank you very much. And then next we have Charles Wright, and I guess we'll go ahead and call up Jan Duquette as well as kind of the bullpen or on deck.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Wright. I'm also an alum of the college, the class of 1985, and one of the first national championships for the football program. As Jim suggested, we're very, very excited and appreciative with the board and the campus administration for elevating the priority of this potential project. As Jim suggested, the magnitude and what the stadium means to the football program, the athletics department, not only here on the college campus, but the local high school community, youth sports community is just tremendous. To have the ability to host high school games on a Friday night, to have the ability to host track meets, playoff games, something that the community benefits, as well as what we do with our Saddleback College program on Saturday afternoons, is really a great opportunity not only to generate revenue for the program, the athletics program, but to really serve the actual South Orange County community, which I know is the district's function. As an alum, I came here from the University of California, Berkeley, as a 424 transfer student athlete, came here, won the national championship, went on to the University of Florida, had a brief bit in the NFL. I went to Stanford University and got my master's degree, and I work at several Division I athletics departments, as well as being a former athletic director at Santa Monica College. I only bring this up to share my enthusiasm to say that the institutions that I've participated in, that I've been a part of in the past, really pale in comparison to the success that the Saddleback College Athletics Department and football program has. To be able to provide your support at a stadium that's going to benefit the community and benefit the athletics department of the football program is just a tremendous opportunity for us, and we really look forward to providing any support that we can for you. It's an outstanding institution, and facilities help drive efficient learning, efficient play, efficient use of resources. It serves the campus, and it serves the community in a whole. So thank you very much for your support to this date, and we're excited for the future.
Thank you. And then Jan?
Hi, I'm Jan Duquette. I'm the kinesiology chair for Saddleback College, and I've been here not quite as long as Jim, but since '77. And I've been on a lot of master plan committees, and I think what Jim said, probably 5 different master plans since I've been here, and it's been a lot of hours. And we've watched things change over the years, and the one thing I haven't seen changed is our athletic stadium, our football field. It's the same track and football stadium since I was hired here 37 years ago. To have a program as big as we do at Saddleback College, I think we have 19 sports, and we've won, like he said, national championships. And to play, in a facility that we've had for this long and not see any improvements it's heartbreaking to me. We try to support other divisions, and we are really happy with all the changes we've seen, like with BGS and the new library and what we're doing right now with the new math science building, and even what's happened with the village. But at one time that was supposed to be a sports complex, and that changed. But we would really appreciate, us being able to go forward with this as soon as possible. We appreciate that we've been moved up on the list. It means a lot to us. I know about 3 years ago, Dr. Burnett and Tony Lippold, our athletic director and dean, we went around to some different colleges, our fellow colleges, and one is Orange Coast College. And I don't know if you've all been up there to see their stadium, the facility up there. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I felt bad when we came back to Saddleback College and I saw what we're still having to deal with here. And I think a lot of our coaches have worked so hard to recruit athletes, and when they come on our campus, some of them actually have turned away because of the lack of, a nice facility, an adequate facility to play at the caliber that we do. So anything you guys can do to get this on its way and make it respectable would be appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing no other polls, we'll go ahead and go to board reports. Start with Trustee Jay.
Yes, I'd just like to back up what Jan just said and the two the two gentlemen who spoke before her. It's time we have a stadium. I know all the years that I've been here, we've continually done that. A longtime trustee, some 16 or 17 years, John Williams was a big mover on that too, and we just never got anywhere. But I'm really excited that people are interested in getting a stadium up, and it appears that through foundation work and other sources of income that we'll be able to have a excellent facility and stadium finally on this campus. Thank you.
Trustee Jamal.
Thank you, Trustee Jay. Mr. President, I too support a stadium. Hope that we can see it come to fruition, at least during my tenure. I wanted to just say a word about, sorry that Trustee Milchiker is not here tonight. She's actually with her husband, who's a little ill, so we wish her and her husband the best. And I know it takes a lot for her to miss a meeting, and we miss her and hope she'll be back here next month. Just one thing on my mind, having attended the dinner recently with the Orange County Business Council with Presidents Burnett and Rockmore and some members of the faculty, and it was a good dinner, about 700 participants. But one thing on my mind is the for-profit colleges and universities, and I know this is an important discussion to be had, and one thing that I want to try to keep in mind going forward as a board member and our institutions is that we are doing our part to assure that current and prospective students know of the value of our community colleges, and that we need to be sure we in no way contribute to a path for them that may saddle them with significant debt or put them on a path that does not contribute to success. And I know this is many of the for-profits are four-year institutions, though some of them are moving a little bit into the two-year space. And it is an issue that's gotten some national attention. We've heard some of our speakers at the commencement and other ceremonies talk about this issue. And it's something that's on my mind and of concern, and I know that our administration, our leadership are paying attention to it. Thank you.
Trustee Padberg.
Okay, thank you. I just want to reiterate to everyone my support of getting a stadium. As you know, I'm a big athletic supporter. I think that it enhances our academics tremendously because students are motivated to participate in something. They have a way to engage with each other. And, of course, we have a Scholar Baller program that's outstanding, which means they are scholastic as well as being ball players. We are, I think, one of the only community college districts in the county, if not the only one, that does not have a decent football stadium. Santa Ana does, Orange Coast, I believe Fullerton does, and it's really time. We have to get off the dime and get this done, and I'm sure we can. There's a lot of support for it. So I'm pleased to see this moving up, and I will support it 100%. Just briefly, in terms of my experience in the last month, since the last board meeting, I attended on Saturday with President Burnett the Freedom Foundation Award luncheon. The luncheon recognized, the Freedom Foundation recognized the Saddleback College student. I'm sure President Burnett is going to mention his name because I forgot.
Dan Agar, I'm sorry.
Yes, and he was honored for one of the very important things he did at the Veterans Memorial at Saddleback College. He made a map showing where your brick is that you purchased to support that. And with over, 400 or some bricks, it was an impressive thing for him to do. So, pardon?
It was an Eagle project?
An Eagle project, yeah. Eagle Scout project. So in any event, it was a wonderful ceremony, and President Burnett will, I'm sure, have a lot to say, too, about it. Thank you.
I just wanted to report, attended the Orange County School Board Association dinner on Wednesday, and Trustee Wright was there as well. The presenter was from Gallup Polling Institute and was talking about polls that they've been doing over the years for education, and it was interesting. One of their findings was the number one, or the two main factors for success in defining success is different for everyone, but successful and well-being in your future was someone who cared about you and hope, both of which I believe our faculty, classified administrators do an excellent job offering our students. So it's good to know that our students in the district are being prepared for success and well-being in their lives thanks to those groups. Trustee Wright.
Thank you, President Pendergrass. This past month, I've attended a couple of events. One, I attended the IVC homecoming basketball game on February the 11th. It was IVC versus Santa Ana College. The women's game was very exciting. In the last 8 seconds, there was a freshman that did what they call a floater and scored 2 points, and they won 55-53. So that was very exciting. The men didn't do so well that evening. But IVC has a good basketball record right this year, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs as well as Saddleback. Both schools have done very well. I also attended this Orange County School Board Association meeting, this dinner, and again, it's already been said, but at the dinner, the speaker, his name was Brandon Boostede. He said that hope is a stronger predictor of college success than SAT and GPA, which I thought was amazing. And then teacher demonstrating caring is a most important factor in student success. And the other thing that was said was that teacher care is better in high schools than it is in college. So that wasn't too surprising. I just wanted to congratulate both IVC and Saddleback College that on February the 13th, they were notified by the U.S. Department of Energy that both IVC and Saddleback will be part of the Solar Decathlon for 2015. I thought that was wonderful. The competition will take place here in Orange County. IVC and Saddleback are proud to be members of what we call Team Orange with the University of California at Irvine and also Chapman University. I think we'll hear more about this. My congratulations to both IVC and Saddleback, and even the district, the Accreditation Commission for Community and Junior Colleges, the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, at its January 8th to 10th meeting, found that both colleges have met the accreditation standards. So that was wonderful. And the last thing is I spent a day and a half, Thursday and Friday in the hospital, Mission Hospital, and 2 of the 3 nurses were Saddleback College graduates, and I just wanted to, they provided me absolutely superb care and service, and they said great things about the nursing program and also the programs that we have in the other divisions, particularly the Math Science Engineering Division. One of them recognized me, so it was good.
Thank you. Trustee Lang.
Yes, my comments will be pretty brief, I think, tonight. I'm also very much interested in the item that's coming forward that talks about all the capital improvement projects, all of which I want to see done in the most expeditious way. And so I am interested also in the hearing more about where we're at with the football stadium, what kinds of how the foundation is coming along in terms of achieving their goals relative to raising funds for that project as well. I wanted to give a shout out to the Irvine Unified School District and acknowledged some of the recent achievements of the various schools who've ranked so highly in the recent Excellent in Education awards and consistently make Irvine one of the most attractive places to live from a public education standpoint. So congratulations to all of our colleagues and counterparts in the other parts of the educational system. Thank you.
All right. Trustee Robinson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Firstly, I attended one of the Emeritus Institute Distinguished Lecture Series lectures, and I'm definitely grateful for the district's and trustees' support of the Emeritus Institute because it truly offers a broad enrichment to the community. And lastly, I strongly support and echo the public comments on facility improvements, and I enthusiastically encourage all of the trustees to support item 6.5 to support the improvements on Saddleback's campus. Thank you.
All right. Chancellor Bordner.
I'd like to call attention to item 6.16 on tonight's agenda. With this item, the board will consider granting tenure to 22 probationary faculty who have completed the 4-year process of tenure review. We're going to move this item up to be the first on the agenda, and so we can identify and recognize the faculty that were able to come here tonight. And in anticipation of the board's action, I want to congratulate these faculty for this important step in their career. A second item, the district's software development team has been working on some groundbreaking student success applications. This coming Thursday, Bob Bramucci and Jim Gaston, Terry Flugerman, and Trustee Tim Jamal will be in Washington, D.C. for a federal briefing of senators and Congress members and their staff. We expect 40 to 50 of these people to be in attendance, and this will be part of our effort to gain awareness of the work that we're doing and to also try to get some federal funding for future improvements.
All right, thank you. So next we have college presidents' reports. And
thank you. This is I'm Craig Justice, Vice President for Instruction, filling in for Glenn Rockmore, who's at a conference this evening. And in addition to the written remarks that are in your packet, I did want to announce that the speech and debate team has won a very prestigious Point Loma tournament. The speech and debate team of Irvine Valley College took top honors at this tournament. It's at Point Loma Nazarene University, February 8th and 9th. 13 students took awards in both debate and individual events and took top sweepstakes award for the 2-year schools that were in competition there. The tournament attracted competitors from 44 schools located in 9 states. And one of our students won a $3,000 scholarship, Brendan Winchell. So we're very proud of the speech and debate teams, and they continue to do well. They are currently ranked 3rd amongst all 2- and 4-year colleges and universities in the conference. So shout out to our speech and debate team. Nothing more to add in addition to the written report. Thank you very much.
do you have any of the team here to recognize this evening, or?
I believe we do not. Anyone from Forensics, IDC?
Okay.
No, we didn't invite them tonight. It was
Just
short notice.
wanted to be sure.
Thank you.
Okay. President Burnett.
Good evening. Thank you. You know, it's pretty exciting at their district, all the wonderful accomplishments that we get to announce, and I'm really pleased tonight to announce many of them. In fact, a couple of them have been mentioned. Trustee Padberg mentioned about Dan Agar being recognized, an Eagle Scout who came and did a fantastic project that will help us with our Veterans Memorial and people with finding their bricks online as well as in person. It was also mentioned also from Trustee Wright about the solar decathlon, and congratulations to IVC in Saddleback working with UCI and Chapman, correct? Yes. Chapman University on that tremendous achievement, which is nationally the only community colleges that won this. So that's a pretty exciting distinction. But with that, I have a few other exciting things at Saddleback to announce. First, if you did not hear about it already, congratulations to Ashley Wagner. She is Olympic figure skater and a Saddleback student. Ashley skated the short program in the team figure skating competition and helped the U.S. Team capture the bronze in Sochi. Ashley is a 2-time U.S. national champion in 2012 and 2013, a 2012 Four Continents champion, a 2 times U.S. bronze medalist, and 2-time Junior World bronze medalist. Ashley is studying to pursue a career in broadcast journalism. Her hometown is Alexander, Virginia, but she trains in Aliso Viejo and attends Saddleback College. So congratulations to one of our students and a great accomplishment for our country. I also want to congratulate actually both teams, IVC and Saddleback, who had a wonderful year in basketball. In particular, I'd like to congratulate Saddleback's women's and men's teams, who each won their conference championship this year and clinched their division on Friday. This is the first time since 2002 and 2003 that both of our teams have captured the crown in the first season. Both teams will be playing this next Friday. Saddleback will be hosting PCC here, and the women will be going off to San Bernardino Valley College. Finally, I want to note that if you haven't received it already, you're going to hear much more. We have a kickoff luncheon on Wednesday for the Orange County's first social entrepreneurship competition. We're the first community college in the nation to sponsor this competition. It's after what we call the Michigan model. The state of Michigan did it, and we're going to tell you all about it on Wednesday. You'll hear more about it. We encourage you to get involved and certainly encourage the community to participate in this momentous and wonderful event, which really will help our economy and our local people that need help. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We do have one member from Associated Student Government, so we'll hear from them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Safar Hadiyatullah, and I'm administrative assistant for SIVC. Today I'm covering for G. He could not make it because he has a class. And so here are some of my activities that we're doing at SIVC. Our student government is meeting regularly on Tuesdays, and we have a full cabinet and Senate positions. Activities have included a successful club day. President's Cup event also was successful. Thank you to Dr. Rockmore for the goodies such as hot dogs and soft drinks. Our homecoming games, introduction on the court and crowning of the king and queen was also successful. Our final women's and men's basketball held on February 19th. Both teams winning. Of course, both teams won the game, men's and women's. And we are also looking forward to a successful senior day with most of our students, government members volunteering to assist. We're expecting around 2,000 high school students this year. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So, yeah, with that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and advance item 6.16, since we have a number of people that will be recognized in that event, and let them be able to go on their way after that. So we can have the individuals, you want to have them join you? Or are you going to call their names out? All right, we'll do that.
Well, thank you, President Prendergast, and everybody out there. We're very excited. As you heard, tonight we get to congratulate, honor various faculty for achieving their full tenure status, and it's a very exciting moment to all these faculty members, but equally it's exciting to our institution because I'll tell you, these faculty are fantastic. I'm thrilled because this is actually a class that I actually hired. So, when you're here long enough, you get to start seeing the fruits of our labor, and I'm just thrilled that I made such great decisions, but all of us made these great decisions, and we're thrilled. So with that said, I'm going to introduce each of the faculty members, and if you could please come on up and join us here. We're going to take a little picture afterwards as well. First, I'm pleased to introduce Kim Branch Stewart from Human Services. Boy, you brought a fan club here, Kim, I know. Second, from nursing, Carolyn Danko. Actually, our first full-time culinary arts faculty, Lisa Inlow. One of our business instructors who's working on the social entrepreneurship competition, Rebecca Knapp. Another nursing faculty, she is here, Candy Nelson, yay. Of course. Art history professor, Tom O'Leary. Biological sciences, he was unfortunately to be here, but Marcelo Pires, who is not able to make it tonight. An English composition professor, Gina Schaefer. And from kinesiology, women's track and cross country coach, Matthew Sherman. Our mechanical drafting and CAD instructor, Robert Stevenson. And last and certainly not least, our Spanish and Arabic instructor, Amina Yassini. I don't think she's here. Come on over, you guys. Quick picture. I'm going to get closer to you guys. You.
No, because they're not.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's just the thing. Plus, you have the IVC on the should I just do this now? Like, in this? I think, actually,
Yeah,
we're going to, before IVC goes, we're going to go ahead and do a
And
quick
you shouldn't leave until we
pause.
vote this in.
Yeah, you might want to.
You might want
You
to
realize
wait.
we haven't voted on this yet, so we may have just introduced a whole bunch of really unhappy people. I
Right.
don't know what to see.
They do.
So before we do this, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. If I, motion
I'd like
in a
to
second.
move the item.
All right, I got a
Okay.
motion from Trustee Padberg and a second from Trustee Wright. Is there? Would you like to speak to your motion?
No.
Is there any discussion?
No. Let's vote.
Anything from HR?
For the IVC people to be introduced.
Well, I'm saying
Saddleback?
we were going to vote before we introduce them.
This is wonderful. Go ahead.
All right, just so that when they know it when they go up. All right, let's go ahead and vote on the item.
Trustee J.
Trustee Jay.
Trustee J.
All right, so it's a unanimous vote, 6 trustees,
One absent.
1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. Now, now we could like to bring up the people who just got voted into tenure
Well, we've
from
got
IVC.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Board President. And if I could have our IVC faculty make your way forward, I'll read off the names. We have many of them here tonight. The 3 who could not be here tonight are in class. Let's see, Robert Shaboya teaches electrical technology. He's teaching tonight. And we have Brooke Chu, who is our Success Center specialist. Daniel DeRoulet from our English department teaches writing. Robert Hollenbaugh, who teaches sociology, is here tonight. Brett McKim teaches design model making, and he is teaching tonight. Could not be here. June McLaughlin, Paralegal Studies, has joined us. Devin Bradley, Biology, and she is in class tonight. Lan Pham from the Math Department. Benjamin Vargas, also for Mathematics. And last but not least, IVC's newest daddy, Jeff Wilson, just had a baby girl?
Baby girl.
Baby girl. Jeff Wilson teaches ESL. Very good. Thank you very much, Board of Trustees and everyone. And now we're going to have a picture. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Okay, so back to the regularly scheduled program. We have item 4.1, Saddleback College, a new vision for student success at Saddleback College. I did not. I didn't. Oh, there it was. I'm sorry, real quick pause here. Skipped board requests for reports. And there was one for from Trustee Milchiker, a request for a report on financial aid services at Saddleback and Irvine Valley College. So we need to vote to approve that report. Do we have any
Do it right now?
information on that? Okay, we can do the report in 1 or 2 months, according to the Chancellor. So we need a motion. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Go ahead and vote. Okay, 6 trustees yes vote, 1 absent, and 1 student advisor yes vote. All right, now 4.1. Thank you, Trustee Lang.
Thank you, Mr. President, Board of Trustees, Chancellor, and guest. You know, we could make a lot of presentations in our district. I do, we all do. I'll tell you, but I can't think of something I'm more excited about and more proud of than the presentation we have here tonight to make to you. It's about student success. Now, student success is something that's not new to any of us. It's certainly not new to our faculty, our staff, our managers and administrators, to all of us here in our district. But as you know, student success, particularly the completion agenda, has become a national, state, and local priority going back to many, many years. With that said, I might say that at Saddleback College, and I believe our entire district, it's nothing new to us. We've been working and finding ways to make student success a priority, and how we can increase completions has always been a top priority. And tonight you'll hear a little bit about that. One of the things that all recommendations, whether it's the state student success task force recommendations, whether it's the 2020 vision, whether it's the President of the United States, the Governor of California, whether it's the Faculty Association, whether it's faculty academic, everybody agrees that one of the things for true student success is we need to have an entire college-wide effort. We all play a role in a student's success. Every single one of us. And that needs to be recognized and to be encouraged and supported. Obviously, starting with our faculty first and foremost in the classroom and education training, but all the other indirect and direct things that we do. The second thing is, to make it be a college-wide success, we need to have we need leadership starting at the top to support it. Yes, we've had leadership from our academic senate and from our classified senate, our students, from our administrators and managers, but I wanted to thank this board and thank particularly Chancellor Portner, who started it probably one of the first times in this district to bring student success as a serious issue, to have presentations made to all of you as a board, and making it this priority. With that said, we are pleased to report to us, as the Chancellor has mentioned to you, that each month each of our 2 colleges were making presentations on what we're doing for student success. Tonight, we thought it was very fitting to talk to you about what we've been doing over the last year plus in preparing and making our college deal with student success organizationally and structurally from a whole college-wide perspective. And with that said, I'm very pleased to introduce 3 very key people in dealing with our college-wide efforts. First is Bruce Gilman, who's a professor in our English department and actually a former vice president, of the Academic Senate. President-elect, actually, of the Academic Senate. Penny Scaff, she's our counseling and matriculation coordinator. And then we have we're pleased to have a student with us, Shay Sharp. And with that said, I'm very happy and pleased to present these 3 to you.
Thank you, Dr. Burnett, and thanks to the board for inviting us to speak this evening. It's fair to say that there's change afoot on the Saddleback campus, and one of the ways that we're trying to invoke that change is under the name of student success. What we intend to show you in the next few minutes is how that effort came to be and give you a good idea of what that effort will look like in the future. It's probably worth taking a moment and stepping back and considering the confluence of influences that have brought us to this moment. I think we all remember President Obama's invocation of the term completion agenda. And with that kind of national recognition, California, especially in the Community College League, began to present ideas about how we could increase completion, but also make our campuses better places to study in every sense of the word. We were pleased on our campus in spring of 2012 to introduce a program that was created by Penny and Dr. Patty Flanagan called Pathways to Success. And that really set the model for the activity that we're going to describe this evening. If you look at the slide, you can see that fall 2012 was an important moment for student success for any number of reasons. You were gracious enough to host the SSTF meeting here. Within a month, we had Professor David Morris from Long Beach Community College speak to us and make very clear what was coming. And it came within the month, and it was known as SB 1456. So the ultimatum had been cast for us. As Dr. Burnett mentioned, there were any number of presentations last year where both campuses tried to bring you up to date, especially with the way we were trying to conform to SB 1456. At the same moment, on our campus, the Consultation Council, and the President challenged the Academic Senate to articulate its own vision for student success, and we set about doing that. As you can see from a few points here, beginning in fall 2012 and coming really just to last semester, what we did was to create a committee, to work for a year to create a series of recommendations, and then finally, happily, those recommendations were accepted by Consultation Council and adopted by the President in just December. So we're at the moment of its inception here, and there's a great deal of excitement attached to what we're doing. Here are the recommendations that we authored in the Academic Senate. The first, and perhaps most important, and most illustrative in the sense that we all contributed across campus, students, managers, faculty, administrators, was to define student success. If you read the literature, you will see that oftentimes there are metrics which tell us what student success translates to as a number. But what we were after was a much more cogent definition of what we were trying to achieve. We also we advised to put in place a mechanism to run the student success effort. Penny will say more about that. We are interested in creating an online student success center, a place where any student can go and get the information that he or she needs from the very moment they learn about Saddleback. At the same time, we hope to create a place, an actual place, a drop-in center for student success, and there are a great many ideas as to how that should look and how that idea will be envisioned. And we also hope that in the future, with the advent of the Gateway building, that will become the permanent home for the student success effort. Finally, and to faculty, this recommendation is particularly important. What we realize that we need to do with the completion agenda in mind is to rethink our curriculum, our pedagogy, and really how we relate to students in and out of the classroom. You've already heard a good deal tonight about issues such as hope, what we call affective issues that have to do with students, and that's part of our drive at this moment as well. Here's the definition we came up with, and we're quite proud of it. At the center of it is the term collaborative effort, and this really was just such a thing. But at the heart, at the beginning and the end of the definition, is an idea that students at Saddleback can create, pursue, and achieve what they define as student success for themselves. And Penny.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for having us here tonight. Really excited. So Bruce has told you what we've been talking about and planning and approving. Now we're going to tell and share with you what we're doing. So the first thing you can see is we've got a new organizational chart that highlights Saddleback College student success. And you can see that there are two faculty coordinators, co-chairs of the Student Success Committee. I'm one of them, Bruce is the other, and we both will report in relationship to student success to our respective vice presidents. We have a Student Success Steering Committee that meets weekly. And here together, we plan and set the agendas for our college-wide Student Success Committee. And that committee meets monthly. It's a huge committee. It's about 30 people thus far, and they represent all of the different divisions on at the college. So it's pretty exciting that we've got this huge group that represents all of the divisions as well as all of the shared governance groups. So for the last year or so, it has felt that, the efforts of student success really fell on the Division of Student Services. And just in the last 4 or 5 months, it's come to fruition that no, this is not just a student success effort on behalf of the Student Services Department, counselors, people in financial aid, in enrollment management, in admission and records, but no, it's global, it's college-wide. So we're really proud of this organizational chart and the momentum. I've been around Saddleback College for quite a long time, and I don't think I felt something this exciting. And most importantly, a part of this group, we have student involvement, because it makes no sense to be discussing student success if we don't have students engaged in the process from the very beginning. So you've kind of heard some of the things that we're working on. And again, we are working on these right now, last week, this weekend, this week and next month, and throughout the rest of the spring term. One is both Bruce and I, we co-chair the strategic plan goal number 2, which is student success. And we co-chair that for the college, and we have, again, shared governance representation on that committee. We're just about done and ready to submit our efforts for that. So we've just about checked that one off the list. Also, professional development. One of the things we're hoping to do is that for fall 2014, that the Professional Development Week, Flex Week, will be called Professional Development Week. So we're doing an internal scan to look at what are the professional development opportunities being offered to faculty, staff, and what do we need to be offering. So we're excited to have that scan take place here in the next few months. We're also looking at pedagogy and what are the innovations that are taking place in the classroom. You know, we all know that it's no longer just simply a didactic relationship between instructor talking and the students listening, but how do you engage and do creative, innovative things? And we are proud to share, I think you may know already, but if not, that Saddleback College is one of 2 community colleges in California to adopt the Avid for Higher Learning program. And we've already had a core group of faculty, including Bruce, that have gone out to Texas and trained, and now they will train the trainers. They will train the instructors about Avid. And we will hope that many of our faculty will adopt some of these new and innovative ideas to become, to engage more with our students in our classroom. Talking about scans, we also need to do a college-wide scan, just not on professional development, but also on all of the amazing student success activities that we offer on our campus. We have all been saying that we do tons and tons of things in the name of student success, but where is it all collected and housed? So we'll be collecting that information, and I know it's going to be a big report because every day we learn about something amazing that's for our students in the name of student success, but now we just need to bring it all together. The other area is an online student success portal. And I have to tell you, we kind of thought small on this. We thought, oh, we'll just add to the Saddleback College website a student success page. But once some of the faculty started engaging with the folks that put together our Saddleback College home site, webpage, it became apparent that no, we just need to embed throughout the entire website student success. And then you heard Bruce say something about the Gateway Building and a permanent student success center. Well, the Gateway Building is not quite here yet, as we know. So it may be that you, our faculty, our staff, even trained students, are walking around in high-profile buildings with a lot of student foot traffic, wearing a shirt, maybe even we'll train some board members too, wearing an Ask Me shirt, with perhaps an iPad or a tablet there, right there with the students, one-on-one engaging and saying, how can we support you? We want to make sure that you're successful here at Saddleback College. And then just to quickly wrap it up, we have our Freshman Advantage program that we are now scaling up. This was a program that's been in effect for 2 summers, and what it is a face-to-face orientation for incoming students who have poor placement in English, reading, and math. And now we want to scale, because of the success of this program, make it bigger, make it for every incoming student. That while we have the online orientation, we want to provide face-to-face orientation as well. And then lastly is really the most significant thing, and that is student engagement. And then I think I've shared that here before, that if students cannot really be successful if all they do is go from their parking lot, their car, to their class and back to their car, that we have to find engagement for every student, not just students involved in athletics or ASG, but all students, that they find some place where they fit. Speaking of students, it's my pleasure to turn this over to Shay Sharp, our student member of our Student Success Committee.
Good evening. As Penny introduced me, my name is Shay Sharp. I'm a student here at Saddleback College. This is my 2nd year, and I'll be transferring to Cal State Long Beach in the fall. In addition to being a student, I'm also a student government member. I serve as the director of student clubs and organizations, and I also serve on a couple campus-wide committee meetings, including the Student Success Committee. And I'm happy to be here tonight, not only because I love being a part of campus-wide committees that deal with student success, because I think that it's crucial that students have a voice and input when it comes to talking about student success, like Penny and Professor Gilman also stated. Part of my contribution to this committee was conducting a survey about a month ago to a group of student government members about student success. It was a free response survey. It was about 15 questions. I think the survey provides really valuable insight to the minds of students and what's going on campus. So I'd like to share a couple of those questions and responses with you tonight. The first question that I think is most appropriate to start with is what students themselves define as student success. Some of the when asked, what does it mean to be a successful student? Some student responses included someone who learns, gains, and develops, someone who's passionate about their major, taking your education as your own responsibility and utilizing resources that are offered, being involved, making relationships and connections, studying hard, and being passionate. A common theme in these responses is that a successful student is one who works hard to establish and achieve their goals, primarily academic and otherwise. Also, one who utilizes the resources on campus and makes strong connections in order to achieve those goals. One thing that this tells me is that the definition of success that's defined by the college correlates with that of the success that students define as success. Which I think is a good indicator that the Student Success Committee is on track with supporting student success. One major aspect of student success, obviously, is academic success, which leads me to the next question that was posed in the survey. What role do you believe that faculty should play in your education and your life? Some of the students' responses included their role models, examples, resources, mentors, educators, and helpers. Teachers help shape the way we view certain subjects and our interests. One student stated that if I take a bad class with a good teacher, I will love it. If I take a good class with a bad teacher, I will hate it. And another student, while I may be able to distill information from a class no matter what, having an engaging, motivated teacher leading a lecture or discussion is a refreshing change of pace. The commonality between all these responses is that faculty plays a significant role in students' education. I believe that in the institution or bettering of programs and workshops that help faculty keep their skills and curriculum updated are important ways that the school can support student success, seeing as faculty plays such a critical role. I think that the various work groups of Student Success Committee will address this area, which brings me to the next question. In what ways can faculty improve their connection with students in the classroom? Students responded to the survey saying, being more engaging, helpful, and compassionate, having more interaction with other students, making an effort to make a connection with students within the classroom, asking students questions, listening to student suggestions, promoting group work, and learn or at least try to learn student names. A common theme that I gather in conducting this survey is that students want to be engaged in the classroom. They don't want to just sit in a lecture and passively learn. They want to be involved in group activities and class activities. I think that student engagement work group, and specifically within the Student Success Committee, are working to find unique and interesting ways to better engage students both inside and outside of the classroom. I'd like to conclude by saying that I've had a wonderful experience at Saddleback College. I've grown educationally and emotionally because of this institution, and there are so many wonderful programs, faculty members, staff, and administrators working hard to make students more successful. I know also, though, that there are areas of improvement which we can do better, and I believe that the members of the Student Success Committee are addressing and dedicated to improving. Thank you.
I asked Shay to leave her slide up just because I'd like to look for a second at the very last quote we have, which may seem insignificant, but a great deal of the literature out there, a great deal of the research from places like the RP Group, other statewide organizations, tell us that, in fact, if we can make a meaningful connection with our students on any level, that success is much more likely. So it may seem insignificant on some level, especially to those who teach a 65-member lecture class, or it may not be the first priority, but the literature is telling us that, in fact, it means a great deal when you know who your students are. So what we're after and what we hope to create over the course of the next several years at Saddleback is what was called in the SSTF set of recommendations and has been referred to by any number of experts as transformative change. And that simply means that what we hope to create is an opportunity to touch every student at Saddleback in a meaningful way. And therefore, we will transform the campus and look to the future for a greater sense of student success. Thanks so much, and we're here for any questions you may have.
Do I have any trustees wishing to I do. All right, Trustee Wright.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Penny, what was this? You went down to Texas. What was the name? I didn't get the name of the what you were talking about. Was it?
Actually, I'll let Bruce. Bruce was one of the
Okay, Bruce. What was it?
I was one of the people who went to Dallas, Texas, where AVID is located. And they have created a new program.
Come again with the name?
AVID. It stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. It's a program which is used in many high schools around the country. I don't have a number, but it's several thousand at this point. What they did 4 years ago was to take their pedagogical approach and to up it to the college level. And so, as Penny mentioned, Santa Monica College and Saddleback are the first people to bring them on campus in an effort to create more professional development.
Okay.
We'll be pushing that this year, and I think you'll hear more about it.
Thank you.
Trustee Jamal.
Enthusiastic presentation. Thank you. My question, the one that I was thinking about is, how does this new vision relate to what we're doing in counseling services right now?
I'm happy to answer that. And first, I do have to recognize our district IT. It's great that they're going to Washington and discussing and sharing about our MAP, My Academic Plan. We are leading the state, guys. Last Friday, we had our Region 8 Matriculation or Student Success and Special Programs Committee here. We hosted it here at the college. And we went around the room and discussed how we're all implementing all of the new mandates for student success. And let me tell you, no one can touch us. So this district, it's amazing because of MAP, My Academic Plan, Sherpa. These are just such phenomenal tools that allow for counselors to, help our students, provide our students with the new requirements the state is mandating it on us. Now, what I have to tell you is that our first semester educational plan is now embedded in our My Site, thanks to Jim Gaston and Sandy Pope and their people. And then in the matriculation status page that you can find in the My Site for each student, the comprehensive educational plan is embedded in that. So as soon as a counselor meets with a student and locks it, then that triggers that student has met that criteria. So that is kind of the IT end. Now it's the counseling part, the people-to-people, the person-to-person end. And how that works is it's going to be a lot of work. And we're going to offer it in a variety of modalities. It will be probably the most effective is one counselor to one student discussing the student's educational goals and dreams. But that's probably not going to be something that we can do with all the students that we have. So we will be offering MAP workshops at Saddleback College. They will be perhaps even mandated that a student has to go to a MAP workshop before they meet with an individual counselor. And we will be hosting those or running those MAP workshops, one counselor to 16 students. And we're currently in the process of setting up in SSC, the Student Services Building, room 166, which is in counseling, a MAP lab, if you will. So it'll be 16 computers and a couple computers for counselors, and it will be very efficient. So we'll be able to meet with a student and help them begin their MAP. But what's great is right now, as of December 1, every new student that does online orientation and then online advisement, when they get to the advisement part of a section, what happens is their placements from English and math and reading are populated into the first semester educational plan. And it introduces, at that level, it introduces the student to MAP. Whereas before, students could be here 2-3 semesters, what's a MAP? Now they'll know because it's part of the matriculation process. But we do, I have to say, it's going to take a lot of counselors to execute all of these MAPs. And there's probably no community college in California that is prepared for that just yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Trustee Robinson.
Thanks. I have two quick questions.
Sure.
I definitely agree with Shay's point and the survey results regarding the role that faculty play in the educational environment of students, and it definitely can make or break someone in a class and possibly in their academic success. My first question is, will the committee be involved in pushing recommendations to faculty for professional development to encourage mentorship and role model education or role model educators? And my second question is, will students be permanent members of the student success vision and the committee? Because it would appear to me to be a vital element to include students at the foundational level to facilitate the key points highlighted by Professor Gilman to create the collaborative effort that you are seeking.
Staff professional development. Like we shared, we're hoping that in fall 2014, that our Flex Week will be called Professional Development Week. And you bet, we're looking at mentorships. Already, the Academic Senate has been hosting something for new faculty. When new faculty come to the campus, an ongoing training program and a type of buddy system. But we will be looking at a variety of opportunities to help, professional educators get even better than they already are, because we only hire the best here. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that answers
now
my
turn
first
over to
question.
Bruce.
Thanks.
I think I can go backwards here. It works. Here's the best example in response to your second question. Last year, when we were trying to define student success, in fact, Claire Cesario was one of the members of that committee, we spoke via email, I would guess several hundred times, about what would work and what wouldn't work in order to define what seems, at least initially, a relatively easy thing to do. It wasn't. And the people in the end who fought the hardest and longest for a better definition were the two students on our committee. They insisted that the syntax be right, that the word choice be better, that the spirit behind the definition itself be clearer. And so if I can use that as an example, I think sometimes faculty learn pretty quickly, and what we learned at that moment is that we can't possibly go forward without students in the center of the effort.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Padberg.
Well, I think my comments are similar to student trustees' comments, but it's just really rewarding to see how enthused you all are and how involved you are. My comment is this going to continue, or is this just like a flash in the pan? Is there some way that we can assure it will continue?
Yeah. I think one of the ways that we can ensure that this will continue is that you saw the organizational chart, and we're held accountable now to the vice presidents and essentially the president of the college. So they are expecting updates regularly from us, and right away we've had 2 college-wide student success committees, and right out of the chute with the first meeting, we've had 8 work groups established. So it is not a meeting where you go and just sit and listen. It's absolutely an action-oriented group, and it has to be.
So it's basically involving everybody, including the student.
Yes, and Board of Trustee members. That's down the line.
Thank you very much. Oh, go ahead.
If I may, I'd just like to add to that. One of the critiques of the current move to improve anything on a college campus is that we are accused, everyone on campus, of operating with a silo mentality. And I think these committees represent a change in that former silo orientation. And now that we're out, I think we're going to continue. And you can feel the spirit in the room and the camaraderie. So we're optimistic we'll be in business for quite some time.
How wonderful. Thank you so much. Great presentation.
Thank you. I think it's worth noting that the state makes them do it too. Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Lang. It didn't get the name in there. All right. Okay. So with that, we will move to consent calendar items. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Consent calendar get approved.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any polls?
Yes, 5.4.
5.4. Any other polls? That's got to be a record. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and approve the consent calendar minus 5.4. All those in favor, prepare to vote. Or even if you're not in favor, prepare to vote. Okay. 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. Thank you. All right. 5.4.
So I'm very appreciative of the work since I came to the board of Ms. Fitzsimmons and Randy Peebles and the Chancellor on ATEP and trying to move forward. And I think we all have an interest to see this obviously succeed and come to the vision come to fruition. The reason why I pulled this is this has to deal with the master plan for the newly configured ATEP, and I just want to be sure that this will not inhibit, for example, moving forward with a collaborative partner who may come forward, say, next month or the month after. I understand the need for master planning. We do seem to do a lot of planning for ATEP, and this does concern me. I understand the necessity of it, but at some point we have to stop planning and start implementing. So my question is really, I know this is the completion date is in August or September. What will we be doing in that intervening period if there's a partner that comes forward before the completion of the master plan?
Sure. If a partner comes forward, and we do have partner inquiries, we will still go through that process parallel. Obviously work with the college presidents, respectively, of whichever college would be partnering with this partner, and vet the partner just like we would prior to the ATEP development master plan process. And throughout the process, we'll be getting a little more solidified as to where, land use possibilities and some things that we can inform any potential partners during the interim period. We expect to take this master plan to the board in August. We want to wait till faculty come back. We think that's very important to the process, and there's going to be several workshops throughout the process so that we can get college input and a variety of input from a variety of people who are interested in this process. So to answer your question, no, we won't be putting anything on hold. We'll definitely entertain, and it takes a little while to go through the vetting process with the partners and to make sure that we feel comfortable with them. So that certainly will take place.
So just a quick follow-up. I think you answered it, but if I know when was it last year, when we had our real estate management firm doing some outreach for us, that I think there were perhaps some partners in the past who we couldn't engage because we weren't in a position to engage with them. So if there is a situation where there's an advanced manufacturing firm or a life sciences or biotech firm that wants to move forward quickly, we're not going to tell them, well, we don't have a master plan yet, we can't engage in conversations with you.
No, we would not do that. We definitely would have conversations with them. What we're also doing in parallel to this process is doing some other behind-the-scene work, as you can expect from the ATEP team. We're working on a ground lease outline, which will talk about what process we would use to vet these, both internally and also with the Board of Trustees, and how we recommend that to work, as well as some ground lease templates for actual leases, because as you know, this would be a ground lease opportunity for any potential partner.
Thank you.
Trustee Padberg.
I move the item.
Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? We'll go ahead and vote. We have 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. All right. So moving on to general action items, we have item 6.1. At this time, we're now at this item, so we need to adjourn temporarily for a public hearing. And so before we have that public hearing, we'll go ahead and have Vice Chancellor Fitzsimmons provide an introduction.
Thank you, President Prendergast. The agenda item pertains to a public hearing to allow the district to enter into a contract for an energy service contract pursuant to the requirements of California Government Code 4217. This code permits public agencies to enter into energy service contract on terms that its governing board determines are in the best interest of the public agency. This process then entails using a formal request for proposal, RFP process. There are also 2 other board items that relate to this public hearing, and those are items 6.2 and 6.3. After approval for the use of this approach, each project will be presented to the board on its own merit and relative to project-specific findings. Agenda item 6.2 will authorize SOCCCD on behalf of Irvine Valley College to enter into an energy service contract for the Student Services Center building And agenda item 6.3 is the item presented for your approval for the actual vendor contract itself, which is an energy services contract with Trane US Incorporated for the Irvine Valley College Student Services Center Air Handling Unit Replacement Project. If you have any questions this evening throughout this public hearing process, both Brandy Delana and myself are here to assist.
Okay. So then do we have any, or does the board have any questions of staff or consultants to assist with their understanding of this matter? Seeing none.
I move the item.
We'll go ahead. Well, I have to have the public hearing
I'm
first.
sorry. Go
So
ahead.
right now, the public hearing on the matters at hand is now open. So it's an opportunity for anyone from the public to speak on the item. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And then if there's any further discussion on this matter. Okay, so 6.1 is concluded. We can go ahead and, do we need a vote on this?
Not
No.
on the public hearing, on the next two items.
On the next two, okay. So now we'll go ahead and move to item 6.2 to adopt resolution number 1405, authorizing entering into an energy service agreement or contract for the Student Services Center Air Handling Unit Replacement Project at Irvine Valley College. So I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Okay. So I got a motion from Trustee Padberg, second from Trustee Jamal. We can now vote on the item. It's a unanimous 6 trustees voting yes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. So now that resolution is approved, we may move to the last item for Irvine Valley College Energy Service Contract. This is item 6.3, South Orange County Community College District Irvine Valley College Student Services Center Air Handling Unit Replacement Project, Award of Energy Services Contract, Trane US Inc., DBA Trane, for the amount of $590,010. I have a motion and a second.
Move. All right.
I have a motion by Trustee Jamal, a second by Trustee Jay. All those, go ahead and vote. It's unanimous, 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. All right, moving on to 6.4. This is the Marian Bergeson Award nomination. If anybody has a nomination for that award or wants to know more about it, I guess. Trustee Lang.
Yes, I would like to nominate Marcia Milchiker for this award. I spoke with Marcia earlier today. She is interested in being selected, for our board to support her for this award, and I'm more than pleased to do so.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? We could put them all together. No? And judging by the criteria, she's very qualified for that. So we'll go ahead and vote on that. It's unanimous, 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. All right, so staff, you will submit that application. Excellent. On our behalf. 6.5, 5-year construction plan.
Yes, you have before you the 5-year construction plan that's required to be filed by the State Chancellor's Office on an annual basis. And Brandy's going to come up and talk about the changes that we have made since last year.
Okay, doke.
Well, hello this evening. We've heard a whole lot about one of those changes, which is the athletic stadium being raised on the list. It was previously, I think, on the priority list for the 31st priority in 2031, and now it's been raised up to 15, which is an excellent spot for it given how we consider financing these projects. Alrighty, the one right before that, though, is the item number 8 is a kind of a new item for you to look at. It was also much lower on the priority. It's the new baseball restroom, bleachers, and concession stand over at IVC. The reason we've advanced this project is in order for the swing space for ATEP, There's classroom space over at ATEP right now being used that is leased. When our lease is up in 3 years, we need a new home for that educational opportunity. And this building will provide for that on a temporary basis. And when we're finished with it, then we'll turn it into that restroom bleacher concession building. Other changes, the Fine Arts building renovation has gone from 23 to 22. It's just a little bit, actually it's a little bit lower. Everything advances as projects are completed. This one didn't advance as much because of the other two changes that we've just made. The same is true for the quad landscape renovation over at Saddleback and the renovate campus pedestrian pathways. That one's another one that's been raised. That was very far down on the line. The foundation is also raising money for this project and has a donor sponsor that's provided some monies to the college. This project will advance an arboretum trail project that Saddleback campus is working on. And that's it for those changes.
I'll move those items.
Second.
All right. So I think I'm missing a page.
Oh, yeah?
There's something missing. The pool isn't on anywhere on this list.
Well, we're making great advances in the athletic department this evening. That might be next. You never know.
All right. We'll see. Trustee Lang.
Yes, I guess what I wanted to do was just get some additional idea of the thought process behind the reordering. And, perhaps we need to get the college presidents to weigh in, although we hopefully Craig can do that for Glenn, just to understand, I guess, the logic in terms of what we're doing here.
If I might take that lead first.
Oh, sure, please.
So the way that the process works is we have an education and facilities master plan that's developed every 5 years, and within that plan there are priorities identified for IVC and priorities identified for Saddleback, and they're already listed in their priority order. And the 5-year plan is our way of taking these two lists and merging them together and identifying with the state chancellor's office, they're really the driving force behind this 5-year plan. So that we can get money from the state, hopefully someday if it's ever released again. That's one objective. The other objective is for, in our own minds, to identify how we might want to fund projects in the future. That's what the priorities are all about. So when we raise something on the priority list, what it's doing is telling us as a community that this is a higher priority for us, and we want to start thinking about funding it. And like I said, especially with regards to the athletic stadium, there are two projects that precede on this list are big projects: the Gateway Building Project at Saddleback College and the Fine Arts Building Project at IVC. Both of those projects are up at the State Chancellor's Office looking for matching funding. We'd like to continue to wait until that matching funding is provided before we pursue those projects, and that then puts this athletic stadium in a good standing for funding considerations.
Okay, I guess the fact that we have downgraded a project, does that potentially jeopardize any state funding that we might get?
No, we've been very careful in the reprioritization consideration. We've been very careful not to have the projects precede those that would be funded in a way that would negatively impact them. There was a great deal of conversation around that.
Okay. I guess the other question that I wanted to find out something about, and I mentioned in my earlier remarks, is, I'm certainly very supportive of the football stadium and would like to see that get built. I know that there is much popular sentiment, some of which we've heard, tonight at our meeting here, and certainly athletics is very important, to both of our campuses. But I also know that the stadium is a very expensive project, and I know that there was quite a bit of foundation support that was going towards helping that along, and so I wanted to kind of understand where that stands and where we are with that. I don't know whether you can who's prepared to address that.
Dr. Burnett.
You don't want to take that, Brandy?
I'm not there.
Anyway, well, first off, as you know, the foundation's been looking for a long time. In fact, 3 years ago, started a feasibility study to see what would be the reality of being able to raise the funds. Frankly, the feasibility study showed that our college and our district and our community aren't ready, frankly, to raise funds of this degree. We've raised more money than ever, as you know, in the foundation, but we still have a ways to go. We'll still continue to look for that and to raise funds. Thus far, the foundation has committed, though, to $500,000 contribution to the stadium. But you and I both know, yes, on about a $10 million does it say the number on here? No, it's about a $10 to $12 million project. $500,000 doesn't get you very far. I did want to comment on one thing, though, that you mentioned, and Brandy answered how these lists come about. One thing to keep in mind is that there are a tremendous number of dominoes, that we call them, things that happen that influence these other projects coming from all directions. So it's not necessarily that a project may be more priority or less priority. A lot of it has to do with the feasibility or viability that project can or should be done now. You mentioned one good example, the Gateway Building. Well, the Gateway Building is the number one project for our district to be funded with state bond funds, which have not funded in 4 years, 5 years? Has it been 7?
Yes.
Woo, 7 years. We've been waiting for that. Maybe this year. We hear every year, maybe this year. So for an example, that's determined upon a whole other source of funding. And there's every project here has similar types of fundamentals to it. So please, I wouldn't want anybody in the community, certainly the board, to read too much a lot of times in these orderings and thinking that something's less or more. A lot of it is like the athletic statement finally rose, I might add. Yes, it's become a priority for all the reasons that we know about, but also it has risen, you might say, on its own inertia.
Okay. Along those lines, I guess, does raising the priority help the foundation, do you think, in terms of having a greater sense of urgency, in terms of whatever money that they would raise towards this cause? I guess would be one question that I would have. And the other question I have is how realistic is this Occupy date that's on here of 2016 and 17? That seems to be pretty aggressive.
Actually, 2016-17, it's what, 14 now. What's that, 3-4 years? Actually, no. Actually, could be. We're going through our college process this spring. You approved this, actually, tonight, and that goes into the mix. Our college and district-wide process will determine what the order of the funding will be for those. Let's just say, in a best-case scenario for this particular project, that they funded a portion of it or all of it to get it going. It takes about, what would you say on the best case, 3 years?
3 years.
3 years. So it could be potentially finished certainly by 2017 or 16.
Okay.
And the second part of your question was foundation.
Yes.
I believe this does help them to be able to fund it, because part of the, you might have heard a couple of the speakers earlier mention that they've seen 5 times this effort's come forward to get the athletic stadium done in the 45-year history of our campus. And so they keep hearing it. So it's, crying wolf. So if the board or the district commits that they're going to do something, and it really is a firm commitment, I think that helps always with fundraising and support from the outside community.
Okay. And I guess my last question would be, I can safely assume that this has gone through the shared governance process and is supported by the other shared governance groups that are out there.
Well, I certainly would invite our academic senate, classified senate, or ASG to speak, but I can tell you that it has gone through our college-wide process. And once again, this is an annual event. We do this every year, and we bring forward to, sometimes we don't really have many, I think almost every time there's some kind of a change to this, because it really is fluid. And as you know, the minute you print it, all of a sudden some dynamics change. But it has gone through our full college process and recommendations to me, and of course I approved them to the chancellor, and then it's to you. But if anybody else would like to speak, Dan or Mike or...
No, it's great. I mean, this is what the process is, and so we support it.
Terrific. Thank you. Okay.
Trustee Wright.
Several questions and concerns. One is, what do you think the state will fund? The state will fund this. Do you think there's a possibility that the state
Stadium project?
The stadium project.
No. The stadium project falls into a category where it receives funding or it raises money on its own, and those are excluded from state funding considerations. Okay. So there'll never be match money for that project.
So it'll have
never
to come
say
from,
never.
So it'll
Maybe
have to come
they'll
from
change,
basic aid then?
Excuse me?
It'll have to come from basic aid if it doesn't come from the foundation.
Correct.
Okay. I guess my last question is that I'm still concerned because the renovation of the science math building worries me. I mean, it's way down there now. In fact, fine arts is even ahead of it. So there are still some big problems with the science math building as far as ventilation and everything else. So I'm concerned that
that is a valid concern, absolutely.
I just have to raise that concern because it's down there now. I know there is some talk about if we get the Gateway building, then maybe turning the Student Service Center over to math might be able to use that. But I'm still very concerned about that science math building renovation.
Certainly justified concern.
Trustee Jamal.
Trustee Lang was very thorough and covered most of my questions, but on the stadium, it is a big jump, 15 slots. We obviously all support it. Other than the $500,000 that's committed by the foundation, do we have any other commitments in the community? I know in the presentations, we invoked that it would be a benefit to the community. And so are there any other stakeholders who committed to come forward to assist us in this project?
Yes and no. The part is that officially for the $500,000 or from a capital campaign, no. The yes side of it is, as you're all aware, right now we have 2 high schools that actually rent our facility. We also rent a facility to other events. Actually, because our stadium is under par, we don't get those events. So not only are we not raising those additional revenues that were mentioned, which would help to support the ongoing maintenance or even operation of the stadium, we're playing in substandard facilities. The 2 high schools that play there now, in addition to not only substandard, we'll be able to basically charge higher rates for the facility as well. So their contributions to start with is having and playing at our facility and paying these larger and higher rates to use our facility, which would then create more revenues for us, for our college and district. That helps a little bit. But as far as overall, no, we try all the time, though. We're always looking for people, as you know, the foundation, all of us individually are really looking for any time we have an opening, somebody's interested, we're certainly going to, welcoming them and hoping that they would come forward.
Trustee Robbins.
Yes, my question's similar to Trustee Jamal. Is the college open to naming rights and maybe stadium seating, sponsorships, things like that, to defray the initial cost or to kind of supercharge? I'm definitely in support of the facility improvements, and I think it's going to be a great benefit to the community and obviously the school. But is that an option, or has that not been explored?
It's an option for all of our facilities, frankly. If somebody came in that was a credible, reliable source, and frankly this board would approve it, to pay a sizable amount that would make sense to put their name or any other type of program name, we're always open to that. We've done it at both colleges to some degree, and frankly I think that personally that's something we should do more of. It's not as common on community colleges, and we all know the 4 years they name every single facility, everything down to the benches that they do. So it'd be nice for our community college that kind of philanthropic support for as much as putting a prominent person's name on some facility. But the athletic stadium is like any other facility that, yes, I think we would entertain proposals for that.
I move the item.
All right. So we have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
All right. Any further discussion? Go ahead and vote. It's unanimous, 6 votes. 1 absent and 1 student advisory vote. All right, moving on to 6.6, revision to the approved 2014-15 academic calendar. Looks like we had an oops, and we fixed it. We have a motion from Trustee Jay.
Second.
Second from Trustee Padberg. Okay, go ahead and vote. Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Wright. Go ahead.
I have no problems with the fall semester. I have a concern with the spring semester. If you look at the Monday and Friday schedules, there's only 15. If you look on the second page, there are 4 less instruction days because of Monday and Friday. Instead of being 17 days, it's 15 for Monday and 15 for Friday. Is there a reason for that?
Holidays.
Holidays, maybe. I don't know.
Holidays, I know, but
If I may, the number of Mondays and Fridays are always a bit short in the spring because of holidays. What the calendar has to do is have 175 days minus 9 for flex, plus 3 for the district days, totaling 178. This calendar does have that total, but each individual day will show a difference.
yeah, but there's more instruction days in the fall than there is in the spring, and having taught.
Sure.
Those days, particularly those Mondays, when you lose them,
Yeah.
it's difficult. That's difficult to make up that material.
It is. It is. The time is made up
Was
on
this,
the Monday
was this considered? Was this considered?
in the academic calendar committee. Yes. And the way the shortfall in Mondays and Fridays is handled is by extending the modules, which is a little more difficult on a Monday than a Friday.
Now, what do you mean by that? You mean more minutes in the classes?
Yes, yes. So the Monday night classes typically will have 15 minutes added on to make up the hours.
What about the daytime classes?
They too, the Friday ones as well. The Monday, Friday do not have the problem of falling short on the hours when you add them together. Yeah.
I'm just very concerned about
Yeah,
those
it is.
instruction days.
It's a
Because
valid
I know there's a
concern.
lot of material to cover, particularly in the sciences and the math and other disciplines. So.
True.
Well, I imagine it's a problem every year, right? Because
Yeah.
it's the same
No,
holidays.
it hasn't been the problem every year.
Oh.
I mean,
Yes.
some years it's 16. They'll have 16 days.
Okay.
If I may, this board member Wright, this is a concern for the faculty as well.
Yeah.
And one of the sticking points that we're having for the 16 calendar is how we resolve what method we would use to try and equalize the instructional days. So I'm fairly confident that we don't have any versions now for that calendar that have 15 and 15 Fridays. But how we best equalize the number of days is it is one of our biggest points this year to do that. So we have moved forward in trying to improve that.
TJ. Kathy wants
Yes.
to speak.
Kathy Schmeidler, IVC Academic Senate President. As Dan said, this calendar was considered to be put to bed, so we didn't reconsider it. But for the next year's calendar, we've been trying a lot of different things to address both of the problems. They're separate. One is to try to even out the 2 semesters, and the other is to try to solve the Friday-Monday holiday problem. I think that the Friday-Monday spring holiday problem was exacerbated with the change in how holidays are done and whether we can shift them. So the national holidays and how those are addressed has changed a little bit in the last few years. So several years ago, it wasn't as much of a problem as it is now. But we're still trying. We certainly are aware of it, and we're trying very hard to resolve it among ourselves.
Call the question.
Okay. We had a motion, right?
Yeah, we had a motion.
Yeah.
It's-
All right, so we'll go ahead and vote. It's unanimous, 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisor vote. Okay. 6.7, board policy revision for accepting for discussion and approval. So we've already had this for review. It is now up for approval.
I move the item.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on item 6.7? All right, go ahead and vote. 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. 6.8, approval of independent consultant services agreement for Strata Information Group.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any information on this item or questions? Vice Chancellor Fitzsimmons.
Last month, you approved the contracts for the HR financial system software project for Cedar Crestone implementation partner and the Workday project. And this month, this is for the project manager to manage the day-to-day details of the project, as well as some hours in there for change management. Because as you recall, there's business process improvement that's going to be going along with the project.
So then, just to clarify, this is project management group. This isn't $500,000 going to one person.
No.
Okay. Go ahead and vote.
I just had a quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trustee Jamal.
Vice Chancellor and I had some conversations today about this. Just, I know that the project manager is reporting to you. What role will the IT department, Dr. Ramucci and his team, have in this?
Yes.
Because it seems like it also falls into their universe.
Of course. There's a project steering committee, which consists of several IT people, 3 to be exact, that are going to be heavily active in the project. That project executive steering committee meets once a week, possibly more during the course of the project. We're going to be working on the project plan and the project charter beginning next week when the consultants come on board. And there are 3 team leads. There's a team lead for the HR side of the house, and that's Jim Laurie, who you met last month. There's also a team lead for technology, that's Jim Faniff. Of course, that's an IT person. And then there's a team lead for the finance as well as benefits and payroll, and that's Kim McCord.
Okay. Now, we'll go ahead and vote.
Prendergast.
Nope. No. I want to change it.
Change the vote? Okay.
I want that.
All right, revote, everybody.
Yeah, revote. I voted before it came up.
Jay?
Trustee Jay? All right.
All right.
6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. Okay. 6.9, Irvine Valley College Life Sciences Construction Management Services Agreement, Amendment Number 3.
I move the item.
Any discussion? Trustee Lang.
I'm just, I guess, wondering about the fact that this contract has now more than doubled from the original contract amount, and wanted if you could speak to that a little bit.
Absolutely. This is the IVC Life Sciences project where these construction management services are provided, and it went to the first contractor, went bankrupt.
Ah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Seeing no other requests to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory vote. 6.10, Irvine Valley College ATEP Swing Space. Adopt Resolution 1403, Design, Build, Delivery Method, and Transfer Funds.
Move the item.
A motion? Do I have a second?
If I may,
Yes.
I just want to point out there was a substitution page for this item. You should have it in your packet.
Yes, we do.
And the change was specifically for the record, to change the recommendation at the bottom of the page to read, to transfer $984,000 from the IVC New Surface Parking Lot Phase 1 project to the IVC ATEP Swing Space project.
And plus the date change. Is it possible to get this revision onto our, whatever this program is we have now? iLegislator? No, can't get that updated? No, okay.
Too late, right?
Okay. Well
Okay,
then,
with that, I guess I was the mover. I will accept the revised
okay.
recommendation.
Did we have a second? Second. All right. Any further discussion or request to speak? Seeing none, go ahead and vote on the item. 6 yes vote, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. 6.11 is the Saddleback College Technology and Applied Science Building Renovation Architectural Agreement Amendment Number 2, GKK Works.
So move.
A motion from Trustee Wright, second from Trustee Jay. Anything on this? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. 6 yes vote, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. 6.12, academic personnel actions. We did get a revision on this as well. Placement pages. Is there any more information besides what we got here?
No, just that. Replacement of B1.
Okay. Got a motion to approve from Trustee Jay, second for Trustee Wright or Lang, whoever wants credit. All right. Go ahead and vote on the item.
Trustee Wright? Okay.
There we go. 6 yes vote, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. 6.13, classified personnel actions.
No changes.
No changes.
Second.
Motion for approval from Trustee Lang, second from Trustee Padberg. Seeing no request to speak, we'll go ahead and vote on the item. 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory yes vote. 6.14, annual report on first-year probationary faculty recommended for continuation of tenure track status.
We have a total of 92 tenure track committees operating right now. So this is those that have completed the first year of hire from last year, and all the committees that have reported have recommended that these go forward.
I have a motion from Trustee Lang and second from Trustee Wright for approval. Seeing no request to speak, go ahead and vote on the item. 6 yes votes, 1 absent, and 1 student advisory vote. 6.15, annual report on second-year probationary faculty recommended for continuation of tenure track status.
This is the same status, but these are probationary, and then they've already completed their first year.
Okay. Same motion and second from Trustee Lang and Trustee Wright for approval. Seeing no request to speak, we'll vote on the item. 6 yes vote, 1 absent, 1 student advisory yes vote. 6.16 we already did. 6.17, Office of Human Resources Management reorganization.
Yes.
Move the item.
I have a motion and a second from Trustee Jamal. Anything to add to it, or?
No, it's pretty
Point out?
self-explanatory. We're changing how we do business to meet with our increased demand.
Okay. And seeing no request to speak, we'll go ahead and vote. 6 yes vote, 1 absent, 1 student advisory yes vote. Now on to reports. 7.1, Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College speakers. Any questions on that? 7.2, annual report on third-year probationary faculty continuation of tenure track status. Okay, 7.3, basic aid report. Anything of note there, Vice Chancellor, Vice Simmons? Okay. Seeing no request to speak. 7.4, facilities plan status report. 7.5, monthly financial status report. 7.6, quarterly investment report. 7.7, retiree OPEB trust fund. Trustee Lang. Mike.
Not at this meeting, but I am going to put in a request for a report that I'm going to submit to the Chancellor on this item. I know we go through this, it's an information item at all of our meetings. I know there's also recently been a lot of press about how different entities have managed their, financial resources. There was a big article many of you may have seen in the Register that spoke to the UC foundations and so forth. I think it's important that our board understand a little bit better about how the investment committee works in terms of reviewing the outside money managers, what kind of matrix they're using to evaluate those folks in terms of what sort of benchmarks that they're held to and so forth. So I'm going to ask that at some future point in time we come back with a discussion item that deals with this. We're talking about a very substantial amount of money, and I think it behooves us to know a little bit more about the process. So.
All right.
Okay.
And submitting that in writing. Perfect. Okay. Moving on to reports from administrative and governance groups, starting with Saddleback College Academic Senate.
Dan Walsh, Academic Senate President. Congratulations and thank you to our Student Success Coordinating Committee, not just for their successful presentation tonight, but their work on the campus. As Board Member Wright mentioned, congratulations to Saddleback College architecture students, led by faculty member Blake Stevens. They were selected as part of the team with IVC, UCI, and Chapman to compete in the Solar Decathlon in 2015. Some of their competition will be Stanford, UC Davis, and Yale. Congratulations to our soon-to-be tenured faculty members. And finally, our condolences to the family of Bill O'Connor, a part-time economics professor who recently passed away.
Hi, Claire Cesario, President-elect of the Faculty Association, sitting in for Paula Jacobs.
And the Faculty Association has been working hard on our Sunshine proposal for the next contract, which will be presented at the March board meeting. And we are looking forward to a smooth and successful negotiation process.
Okay. Irvine Valley Academic Senate.
Kathy Schmeidler, Academic Senate President, IVC. I would like to echo what Dan Walsh has said about the solar decathlon competition. IVC's engineering people are already making plans about how we can participate in this team effort, and people are very excited about it. I also would like to point out that IVC has no plans to have a football stadium. So there's another college in Orange County. Of course, we don't also have a football team, but I do want to specify that that's American football. We do very well with what everybody else in the world calls football and we call soccer. In fact, I'm wearing a soccer jacket right now. Both the IVC women's soccer team and the IVC men's soccer team do quite well. Thank you very much.
Associate Vice Chancellor, Economic Development.
Thank you, President Prendergast. Well, thank you tonight for consideration and approving of the next phase of ATEP site planning. This new development master plan will greatly assist by providing a framework for the initial placement and infrastructure for college buildings, education partners, and commercial partners, while also supporting the marketing of the site to education and commercial partners for ground leases. We thank you. Also, last week I attended a Tustin Legacy Park Design Forum. There were about 80 neighbors there to look at the new proposed park at ATEP. And what's interesting is that they proposed options at the city park that include parking, lighting, baseball, soccer, lacrosse fields, tennis, basketball courts. But I thought quite interesting and good for us to hear was they also have included a Veterans Memorial in the site. Thank you.
All right. Vice Chancellor, Technology and Learning Services.
I'd like to thank Chancellor Portner and Penny Scaff for their gracious words about our software outreach efforts. I'd like to also mention that last Thursday, Chancellor Portner, Jim Gaston, and I provided a webinar that's an online live software demo for the 34 community colleges in the state of Washington, and they were grateful, and they thanked Chancellor Portner for his participation by name, so thank you.
All right, great. Vice Chancellor, Human Resources.
Our department's very busy recruiting 27 full-time faculty positions, the most in the state again. The second most is Coast with 24 and Maricosta for 15, just for information purposes for you. We advertise in 21 different major publications and different events throughout the state, and probably the biggest one is the LA Job Fair that's annual. We attended this year. There's over 1,000 job seekers there, and 18 colleges participated. So we increased our exposure to a lot of faculty, and so we hope to have a very successful pools that we gather for a faculty review to hire.
Okay. Vice Chancellor, Business Services.
No report for this evening.
Okay. Irvine Valley College Classified Senate.
Good evening, Mr. President. Thank you very much. Vincent Cooper, IVC Classified Senate President. And we had two great speakers at our last meeting, IT Director at the college, Bruce Hagan, and also our Data Research Director, Dr. Craig Hayward. And we're gearing up for Senior Day in early March. Thank you.
All right. CSEA President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Board of Trustees. Scott Ferguson Green, President, Chapter 586. About 2 weeks ago, I attended, along with two other executive board members, the officer skills training. And it was very interesting. Not only did it allow us to find out what we have even more responsibilities as far as our duties are concerned as officers, but also how to get more involved politically because of the landscape, economic landscape of California and how that's changing overall. And it affects many of our classified staff members that are working across the state. So we're trying to really adapt to that, and we're trying to become so much more politically involved. And it has more to do with affecting the lives of people, everyday people, the middle class, and also those that, as laws change, their lives may change. So we're doing more of that. Next month, I'll be attending the President Leadership Conference, which is March 15th, and that also will help me learn more about my role as president of the union, and as well as getting involved and being the leader to get a lot of the members of our chapter involved with many activities, both politically and socially. Thank you.
Great. Saddleback College Classified Senate.
Thank you, Mike Sauter, Classified Senate President for Saddleback College. And I'll wrap up tonight's meeting, hopefully really quick. Just a few items. Classified Staff Development Day is coming up. It's our annual day of professional development and team building and networking. That's on March 25th. The Employee of the Year nominations for Saddleback College classified staff are currently open, and we're accepting nomination applications from all of our colleagues at the college, from president all the way down to classified staff. Any member of the classified staff, full or part-time, is eligible for that award, that distinguished nomination. Also, Saddleback College this year is nominating one of our staff for the State Employee of the Year, Classified Staff State Employee of the Year, and Classified Senate enthusiastically recommends the nominee that hopefully you should have before you tonight. Thank you very much. One last thing. The Classified Senate, last semester we did a simple survey to poll our members to see what our educational level of our members were, and we were astonished with the results. 81% of our respondents came back with a AA or above. The breakdown for that was 2% with PhDs, 24% with masters, 41% with bachelors, and 14% with AA. But of that group, we found that 36% of them were continuing their education. And so to support our staff through some fundraising activities that we did do last year, the Classified Senate established a scholarship to support a classified staff member. And so we're announcing this today. We are awarding one $500 scholarship to a classified staff member who's full or part-time that can be attending any college, university, private or public, and hopefully that will help them continue their education and further their work here and just move up and be a better employee. But I just wanted to say thank you, and we've also got some incredible support from the college president and from a distinguished faculty member, Bob Cosgrove, to make sure that that scholarship is in perpetual for the next for the years to come. So
Great.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, so tonight we're going to adjourn our meeting in memory of Irvine Valley College student Joseph Robinson. Joseph was killed tragically in a cycling accident on Santiago Canyon Road in Irvine a few weeks ago. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends.